Welcome, guys. Welcome again to our Starknet Nairobi Bootcamp. And it's actually been up to a month, since we started the introductory part of it. And right now we are going to go in depth into Cairo 1.0, which is developer friendly. It's also like based on Rust. It has a Rust syntax, right? So, and we'll have Kelvin to put us through on how we can write our first smart contract. Okay, so Kelvin.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Nice to have you all here, and kudos to everybody. So today we'll be taking a look at. Let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah. So our primary focus for today is setting up a development environment for Cairo-lang. But before that, we'd like take a look at some fundamental concepts. I think most of us should be familiar with this before, and also, so there are quite a number of ways you can set up your environment, but the steps still remains the same basically. So the outline for today is, okay, we'll be taking a look at introduction to Cairo, what Cairo is, Cairo program versus Starknet program, and data types in Cairo, and also in depth on the contract syntax, and just a refresher of things we've learned previously. So, sorry, for those that were in the previous sessions we've had, like, can you like signify if you were there, just like maybe share your knowledge about what you understand by Cairo and what it means for it being a Turing complete language? Anybody? Is anyone giving it a try?
Yeah, I think Turing complete means it cannot halt at any point during execution, and the context of Cairo, it just means that in while proving computation, it cannot halt. That's my understanding.
Yeah, basically you're correct. So Cairo is a Turing complete language, right? And with its combination, with like combining Stark with Cairo, basically we are able to like write provable programs and like check for computational integrity. What do I mean by computational integrity? Such that then you don't need a third party to actually like prove that what you've let's say the problem you've solved give a particular result. So in summary, Cairo's Turing completeness combined with Stark enables creation of provable, secure, and accurate smart contract that can be used to power a wide range of decentralized application. So Cairo as a language is able to stand on its own, right? And combining it with Stark makes it possible for Starknet to utilize to harness to utilize it in their own ecosystem. So this brings us to two important concepts where we have Cairo programs and Starknet Contract. So there are differences between them. So if you should write a particular program strictly in Cairo, programs such as maybe a sequence of instruction or that does some sort of algorithm such as hashing, or that performs a specific task, right, we can refer to that as a Cairo program. That is, it has no interaction with the Starknet VM. That is, it is considered stateless. So that's what we refer to as Cairo program, basically. Whereas now, when it comes to the concepts of Starknet contract, you have interaction with the VM. Basically, your computation that is being done is sent to the sequencer. And as you all, okay, I don't know if we've discussed the architecture of Starknet, but at the lowest level, basically, you have transactions being broken down into traces, and these traces being broken down into you have transactions, right, being taken into the sequencer, and then the sequencer generates traces, which results to proof, which is sent to the verifier contract on the Ethereum chain, basically. So Starknet contract have access to the Starknet state. They can persist state, modify state, and also like communicate with other contracts and interact with the underlying layer one. So that's like the major difference between a Starknet contract and Cairo program. So any questions so far? Anybody? If anything seems confusing, just feel free to like call my attention to it so that I can clarify that up. Are we good? I can continue, right? Okay. There's nothing in the chat. All right. So just as we know that, okay, for every programming language, you have data types, and from there you have concepts of functions and the likes. So same thing for Cairo. So we have data types in Cairo, and they are specifically classified into two, where you have the scalar types and then you have the compound. And remember, Cairo is statically typed. And what we mean by statically typed is you have to like specify the data type of the variable or the variable you're trying to like deal with. Either it's a felt, it's a string, or it's an unsigned integers. So we are still going to like deep dive into the concept of data type in the next class, but this is just to like give an overview of the data type in Cairo. So we have scalar type. Scalar type basically represents a single value, and then there are three of them. We have the felts. We already know of the felt data type. We have integers and booleans. Integers are newly introduced to Cairo-1. So just like you know in your Solidity, you have signed and unsigned integers, right? But here in Cairo, you have, okay, does somebody have a question? I can see someone raised his hand. Any question? Okay, George, your question, please.
Yeah, just check the chat.
Why do we use Cairo program testing? Some use cases would help. So when you use Cairo program, like I said, is if you check Starknet repository, right, there are some abstraction that has been done. Say you want to like generate hashing, you want to compute a hash, or you want to encrypt or do some sort of what do we call it? Some let me use hashing as an example, basically. So this sequence of instructions, they are written in Cairo, right? But then you can bring them into your Starknet contract to utilize them. Basically, that is the idea. So these Cairo programs, they do not modify states. They are stateless. They can't do anything to the Starknet's VM. Basically, that's like the major difference between Cairo program and Cairo Starknet contract. I don't know if you get that. George, are you clear on that? Okay. Okay. Let's just continue. I'll revert back to that in a minute. So Cairo is a statically typed language, which means you must specify all the types of all variables, and there are two subsets basically. You have the scalar and then the compound. So the scalar represents a single type, and also you have fields. And with Cairo 1, there's introduction of integers, where you have integer such as 8-bit, 16-bit, 32, up to 256 basically. And then you have booleans, which represent true or false. And you have the compound types, which you can use to represent values, multiple values. And example of that are tuples and arrays. So we'll still see, in the next class, we'll see how to utilize these data types and how they work basically. So looking at the contract syntax, things still remains the same. It's just like the syntax that changes. You still have your function feasibilities where you have the external view, and then you have events. So sorry, a minute, please. Let me see if I can show us something quick. Should I be some? I mean, I want to like explain something with this Starknet Contracts. All right, so this is, should I add this to this slide? So this is a simple Cairo contract. Can we see the screen, please?
Yeah.
All right. So this is a simple Cairo contract. Just with this keyword, you're specifying that okay, I want to write a contract here, and then with this mod keyword, you're specifying a module. So basically, like, I don't know if you have any experience writing Rust, but at the to just put it like summary of it all, Cairo is like somehow similar to Rust currently. So if you want to like create a module in Rust, you use the mod keyword basically. So you're specifying that okay, I want to write a contract here. You know, previously, when we want to like specify that this is this module we are creating is a contract, we have to use like this syntax. I don't know if I remember correctly. I think Starknet or so. Yeah, just like your solidity, where you have to specify, I think pragma, solidity, and the likes, and contract keyword basically. So you're saying you have a contract here, and then the mod specify the module, and then you have the contract contract name, and every other thing can follow basically. But then in the next class, you see how to write and get started with writing Cairo functions and writing to state and modifying states. But everything still sort of remains the same. And then you have your constructor. So it's basically a constructor initializes the state of your contract and it only runs once. And you have your function feasibility, such as external view, and also when you want to emit events from your contract. Also, I don't know if you will recall that it's also possible to have layer 2 to layer 1 interaction, and also have layer 1 to layer 2 interaction on Starknet. So when you want to like interact with when you want to interact from a layer 1 to a layer 2, you have to like specify the handler. So this is what this means. So this decorator is used for a function which receives message from a layer 1. Basically, so this is just like a how do I put it, like a low-level introduction to the data types, the contract syntax, and everything, and we'll see deep dive into that extensively in the next class. So to the primary focus of today, which is setting up development environment. So there are quite a number of ways to like set up development environment, but I decided to go with this approach because it's somehow simple and straightforward. And in the resource section, you'll see a guide to our repository, which talks about how you can set it up for your Mac or any OS you're using. Any questions so far? We're good, right? Before I proceed,
can you please share the link to the GitHub in the chat?
Okay. So the GitHub comprises of several modules, the data type, and also some fundamental concepts about Cairo-lang and how to like set up your environment. You can just check it out and see the content. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on the Telegram channel so we can support you with any problem that you have. So to set up your Cairo-lang environment, you need the Rust installed, and also you need Python. And the Python version you need specifically is the Python 3.9. If you have a lesser version or a higher version, it's not going to like work. So you need to like specifically install version 3.9, and I'll be putting us through how to do that. So I have Rust installed already on my PC. Rust is a version. Yeah. So I have Rust installed already. You can just go to the Rust repository to install Rust when you're setting up your own. Yeah, so you can easily like set up the command to install Rust here. So currently, initially, in the previous version of Cairo, when we are developing smart contracts, we use Protostar. Protostar like abstract all these high-level concepts for us. But currently, since Protostar is still trying to like come up with its latest version to support the Cairo-lang and also support contract and also testing. So this is like the hard approach to like go about it. So firstly, we'll be installing the binaries from Starknet repository, which is located at this section. So I'm in my own directory. I'll do git clone http. Okay, I even have it here already. So this is going to fetch the compiler from this repository here. And I'll cd into it. So now we've cloned the repository basically, but then we need to switch to a particular we need to switch to the alpha tag. This is where like the compiler is located at. So I would run the command git checkout tags alpha. So this basically checks out to the tag branch, and then from there come in. Let's check out first. All right, after checking out, we have to like run cargo build to build the binaries. So this might take a couple of not minutes basically, but it takes a while for it to build the binaries. So basically this binary enables us to like compile our Cairo contract. But as time goes by, with as soon as I think protostar will be done, we should be able to like run the usual commands such as protostar compile and the likes. But for now, this is the approach to do it. So it will take a while before you finish building the binary. Any questions so far? Yeah.
Yeah, can you please send the link to the slide as well to the chat? Also check the
Okay.
chat as well. Yeah, so we can just access the link from the slides.
Your ICP usage is affecting meeting quality. I know. Please don't freeze. That's important. Yeah. So for Mac users, Ubuntu users, and also Windows users, you can check the section of the environment, setting up environment. What's it called? I think setting up environment in the repository I shared. So you'll see how to go about it. There are additional things to be installed. I'm not using Mac. I'm using Linux Arch Manjaro basically. So.
Okay, can you just check the chat, Karen? Just I think there's a question there.
Okay. George, check out the branch first before you run cargo all release. So just run the git checkout tags alpha 6 first. So once you've checked out the branch, then you can now run cargo build with the flag all and the flag release. And let me know if it works. All right, awesome. Big slide forever. Okay, still taking time. Because what Cairo has to do with Python. So I think the answer to this question is the compiler basically is it runs in a Python environment. So you need Python you need to set up Python to be able to run the Starknet compiler environment. So that is why we are making use of Python. But then as time goes by, all these stressful setup would be abstracted by Protostar, other frameworks. So you don't need to worry yourself about doing those things yourself. It's just a command. I think Protostar build, Protostar compile, and stuff. The current approach is just to get the community to start using Cairo-lang instead of waiting for Protostar. So this is what we have for now. We can just comment first. So what is the biggest change between Cairo-1 and Cairo-0? So there are quite a number of reasons why Cairo-1 had to be developed. And I think the major reason is the fact that, we said we are proving the integrity of a computation, basically. And when you prove the, how do I put this? When a prover gives a verifier a proof, right? There are two scenarios it leads to. It leads to a true, a false, or I think failed also. So when the execution leads to true means that, okay, you actually this computation was done correctly, and false means, okay, the computation was not done correctly. And then the third state basically means which means I think fail, right? And when this occur, we are not able to deduct fee. The sequencer is not able to deduct fee from these field executions, right? So this leaves room for security vulnerabilities such that people can like spam the network with a lot of failed transactions, like failed computations that were not like successful, right? So what happened in this? So having Cairo-1 now, so there are just two states basically, either true or false. And if the transaction, if the validity of the I think the computation should fail, we're able to like charge a fee on that. Do you understand? So you can no longer like spam the system or the network with few transactions, like you run a DOS attack or something like that. So that's one of the major shift of I would say Cairo that Cairo-1 has to offer. And another thing is the syntax, because the syntax is much more friendly, looking friendly. I mean, it's Rust-like. It has some similarities to Rust, although it may be like some sort of hard learning curve for people that don't have like understanding of Rust. But trust me, it's much more readable and straightforward compared to the previous Cairo-0 we have. So the concept of charging fee basically is like I think is the major reason. It was one of the major reasons why Cairo-1 has to like come into play. I don't know if that answers your question. So since we are done here, a minute. Yeah. So the next thing to do is to export this command to our part. Please, are we following? Are we on the same page, everybody?
I think we should like give little time for other people's station to compile. Then I don't know how long that will take.
All right, no problem.
And it's just in a few minutes, in let's say 2 minutes or so, where we can just be explaining a few other stuff. And guys, if you encounter any error, you can always post it in the chat and we'll have a look at it.
Yeah, so since we're done building the binaries, right, what we have to do next is set up this part. So someone asked about bash and ZSH. Basically, they are shell script where you run commands, right? Just like the way you have your GUI, where you can execute commands such as create a file, install contents. So you can also like do that via the command line, and then the command line gives you certain environments, and bash is one of the environment, and ZSH is one of the environments you can like utilize, and you can have both set up for your system basically. I don't know like the major difference between them. I can't say. I don't want to like go into that, so I don't say something wrong. But then I am using ZSH, so that is why I'm specifying ZSH as my entry point here. So if your entry point is bash, you can just like use the bash rc. So after doing this, right, you should like check Cairo compile version. So you should get Cairo-lang compiler 1.0.0 alpha 6. So the next thing to do now is to set up a Python environment. So like the Python environment basically enables us to run the Starknet compiler, right? So we need to like set up a specific environment first, which is the Python 3.9. So I have it installed using curl HTTP. Okay, I have the command here already. So it will take a while for it to install too. Yeah, so I am going to, after installation, I have to specify the path. Okay. Now you have to initialize the environment based on the instructions here. Virtual. Yeah, so now I can install. So, you know, I don't know if you're all familiar. Okay, I believe everybody should be familiar with NPM. So this PY, this PyEnv I set up is just like you setting up your node environment. Yeah, you setting up your node environment to be able to like install packages. So since I've done that, I can install Python 3.9 now. Are we following, please? I would, George, give me a minute. Let me quickly search for something. Starknet. So this should like give you a guide to how to set up your Mac your Windows environment. Can check this out. I think there's an instruction for that regarding Mac Windows basically. So these are the complexity we still have to like deal with at the moment. You have to like wait and takes time. So after setting up our environment variable, our virtual environment, what we need to do is to install Cairo-lang, which is the Starknet compiler itself that will enable us to like compile our contract. And these are the instructions to install. So waiting on. Okay, I think this is done. So I need to pnv virtual. Okay. Python activates. All right, so we've created the virtual environment, and what we need to do next is install Cairo-lang. So if you have Cairo-lang installed already, you might need to like uninstall it to get the latest version. So I'll run this command pip install cdsa fast ec dsa simplify. I'll run this first before I install Cairo-lang. Okay. Pip daily install. All right, so if I should check Starknet version, should output version 0.11, yeah, 0.11.01 .1. Now, since we've set up everything, please, are we following? Any problem so far for those following along? George, are you able to like resolve the issue with your Windows? Guys, I need to know if I can proceed. No one is responding. Josh, I'll
check it.
Yeah, I'll check the chat. Josh, you can just I'll share you a link to details about Windows specifically. So you don't have to like worry much about that. So if I should like ls now, please give me a minute, please. I'm sorry for the interruption. So we have the binary setup. Also, we have our compiler setup. So I'll just basically like create a new directory to test our contract, seed into that directory, and open that in our So remember that we had to like clone a repository, check out to a particular branch, and also build the binaries. So with the with that binary now, if you can see here, we are on that particular branch. With that binary, we can compile our contract and also deploy the contract. So I'll create new folders. I'll create an SRC folder which will contain a particular contract called hello.cairo. And also I'll create another folder, which, no, not inside SRC, should be at the parent. Call it Sierra. So now, based on the new architecture we have now, your Cairo contract, right, is being compiled down to Sierra to generate bytecodes, basically. So copy this and paste it here. So this is a simple contract that we specify on line 1 that this is a contract, and then we are creating a module called Hello Starknet, and we are getting the get caller. We are getting some functions from the Starkware library, where we have the get caller address. This returns to us the current caller of like the current person executing a particular function, like the message or sender in Solidity, and then this contract address type 2. So you are emitting an event and also creating an external function which says hello, and then you're passing the message which emits the event of the caller and the message that is passed in. Okay, I have to split my screen into 2 to accommodate for. Yeah. Yeah, so to compile our contracts now, we have to compile the Cairo contract first. There, Starknet compile, then you specify the paths. Our contract is in SRC, right? And the name of the file is hello.cairo. And we know, like we've already said, that it's going to like compile it down into Sierra, right? And we specify the path, which would be Sierra slash it also be the same as the name of the file, but this time the extension will be .json. So if you check inside your Sierra folder, you have hello.json, which comprises of a list X-like structure. This is just the bytecode of this contract we just written, basically. All right. So going back to our contract, now we need to like set up our environment to enable for deployment of our contract. So you set up, we specify the network we want to like deploy to, and also specify the Starknet wallet using this Open Zeppelin library. So our export Starknet network to be AlphaGoli. Also, our exports Starknet Starknet.wallets.open Zeppelin account. Okay, yeah. Let me check. Are there any questions in the chat? Running they are in the same direction. Similar general question: why do you believe that the installation and stability will be simplified through a simple book? All right. The same happened with ETH. I don't understand your question, George, but basically we can have deployment and deployment of contracts going on like this, like this tedious approach. Of course, there will be development of frameworks such as the existing protostar, right, to abstract all this high-level complexity we are doing ourselves, which we'll be able to like do right from the snap of our fingers with like simple commands. Take Foundry, or let's say ADAT, for example. If there's nothing like ADAT, I don't know, you have like a lot of setup to do to be able to like compile your contract, deploy your contract, and even interact with your contract. But then this sequence of instructions that we are doing currently can easily be abstracted, and that is what protostar offers, right? So while we await the release of their updates, I think this is what we have to like deal with basically. For now, I don't understand your question about ETH. That might be dealing with some protocol concepts. Now, since we've done this, right, we have to set up a new account, and the way to do that is with the instruction here, Starknet new account. I have tried a number of things already. So, but since this will be your like the first time you'll be creating an account, you can just run the command here, and your subsequent account creation, you can decide to increase the version. So I'll increase mine to 11.0.4. You can decide to like make it sort of incremental version 12 or something. But the idea is this command creates a new account for you, which you can easily like fund with Ether to execute your transaction. So when this account is, when we run new account, I'm able to find, okay, I think I didn't get the command right. All right, so I guess I didn't set up the stuff correctly. Now it's corrected. Now this creates an account for us. It generates account address and then the public key address. So the address here, which I highlight here, is what we are going to use. But then as you've created this account, you have to like send it Ether, right, at the same time. And this concept is called counterfactual deployment, basically. I think is related to the account abstraction stuff on Starknet. So since I have created the account before deployment, I have to send Ether to before it is deployed. So just send it a fraction of Ether. Say 0.1. Okay, 0.1. 0.1 is too much stuff. Next. So you have to monitor the transaction, and you can easily like get that via your agent wallet. So once it reaches the pending state, then you can execute the deploy account, and then you specify the version. So you're still in the received state. So it's in the pending state currently. So we'll run this command now. So we can run Starknet deploy. Remember your version 11. So this should deploy our account for us. Yeah, so it has deployed the account. So the account now is valid. Coming, yeah. Now the next set of instructions to do is to declare our contract. And declaring the contract is going to generate for us the class hash. And the way we declare is Starknet declare. Contract. Then you specify the JSON file with the account Okay, so the class hash has been generated. Okay. Gateway. Comment. Okay, it's already declared. Okay, it has declared the class hash for us earlier. So this is the class hash here, and to deploy now, we need to run the command Starknet deploy the class hash keyword, and then the class hash you get, you paste it here, and then you specify the account. Remember, it's the account you created here. Then should deploy your contract now. Yeah, so let's check the status of our contract here. Stack scan. So while you're checking the status of your transaction, remember to always like switch. I think the default is mainnet. You remember to always switch to testnet. Testnet is alpha Gully. It has. So once it gets to pending, we should be able to like view our contract. How do people even get access to like, spam? If I should copy this contract address now, we should have it already. Yeah. So our contract has been deployed. Then you can basically like write connect and say hello. Forgot we should have added a function that reads and reads so that we can see the output of the contract basically. So this is like how you set up your environment. I know it's a lot of stress, but it gets better with time. And if you want to write your Cairo contract and like have it deployed, these are the steps you have to like go through. I already shared a guide, and which is also on the slide. It's somehow comprehensive enough for you to set up your environment. And also there's also a guide in the chat section. You can also like look into that. So okay, sorry, Paul, can you hear me? Are we still? Can you guys
Yes,
see?
we can. Yeah, we can hear you at the moment.
All right. So, George, I would send you a resource regarding Starknet architecture, so you can just take a look at it and dive deep into that. So that will be all for setting up your environment, and checking the GitHub repository I shared. There are some additional steps such as installing Cairo extension, which basically acts as a formatter for you to like format your code. Not format your code really, but it shows you syntax error while you're writing your code, and there's a setup for that on the GitHub too. So any question? Any question? Well, is there anybody that was able to like follow through and was able to like probably deploy his contracts? Anybody? Yeah, I guess.
Just listening. Yes,
Yeah.
I was just driving and listening, but I'll be able, if you guys post it later, I'll try. But I guess my only concern is like those people that came in and said all those things. Like I was deeply offended, and I'm hopefully like you know so like you know later.
Mick, I can't hear you clearly. Could you please drop your question in the chat? I can barely hear
Okay,
you.
okay. Okay.
Are there any contracts that are deployed on mainnet using Cairo-1?
Yeah, there should be, but I don't know of any, but I'll check it out and revert back to you. I think there are migrations of the previous contract to Cairo-1 currently ongoing, and yeah, there should be some contracts on mainnet already. So in the next session, which is a Monday, we'll be going in depth into data types and how to like utilize them, how to write your functions and see how these things work. But in the meantime, you can check out this repository, and pull requests are welcomed, please. So feel free to like make your research and also contribute to it. So it comprises of some fundamental concepts, such as new concepts in Cairo, basically the data types, arrays, control flow, events, ownership and references. These are the ownership and references are concepts in taken from Rust, and generics, and a lot of other things like that. So you can just go through this concept ahead of next week class, so you have questions and to be more like much more interactive and to have more understanding.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to know, like, was there anyone able to get to the point you got to, Kelvin?
I don't think so. Some say they are going to like follow along with the video, but then they can like reach out to me while trying to like set up on their own, and if they have any issues, I would be available to guide them through it.
I mean, I had set up the environment correctly for Cairo 0, so but that was on Linux, but right now I'm watching this on Windows. But I've seen the steps are somewhat similar, so I hope it will be straightforward when I get to it.
So the section where I was talking about is setting up a development environment. So for Mac users, right, you have the guidelines you have to follow. And okay, am I still sharing my screen? I doubt that. I'm not sharing my screen anymore. Yeah, for Ubuntu users, you have the flow to follow, and also Mac users. So if you have any problem at all, like just reach out on the channel and I'll be available to attend to your questions. So let me just give an overview of this section. So basically, the two things you need is to have Rust installed and also have Python 3.9 specifically installed. And remember the section where we set up the virtual environment where I had to like install the PyEnv environment for Python and also have Python 3.9 installed. If you have Python 3.9 already on your machine, all you just need to do is to execute this to set up your environment. You don't need to like start installing anymore. But if you don't have it installed, you need to like set up using this the way we did the setup on the call, and from there install these dependencies before installing your Cairo-lang. So once you install your Cairo-lang gives you the Starknet compiler, which enables you to like run deployment of your contract, right? So once you have that set up, you can easily like clone this repository, build the binary, and then export the parts and run the compiler version. Then from there you can proceed using the step in this slide to compile your contract and also create a new account and also deploy your account. I don't know if we get the breakdown.
Yeah, we follow.
All right. Any questions so far? Does deploying contract count for future airdrops? Transaction. George, I don't understand your question for does deploying contracts count for future? No, I don't think so. I think no, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, Meek, can you ask your question again? I couldn't hear you earlier.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Maybe I was just wondering, how can I contact you after this?
Okay, you can just contact me on the Telegram channel,
Yeah.
Code Whisperer. That's my user handle.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was actually maybe traveling, and I was not able to like follow through everything, but I was just listening, and
Okay.
yeah.
You're using Mac, right?
Yeah. I mostly use Mac. Um, I see that you also posted like the GitHub. It's like the Git book, the Cairo book, which I haven't tried, but I've actually done some Rust stuff, and like this is interesting. So I'm really looking forward to probably do the Cairo stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
While going through the Cairo book on other concepts, just feel free to drop your questions, and we'll have people like attend to you on the channel.
Yeah. And then I think the other thing was like those guys that came in and like tried to join like this recording. It's definitely heartbreaking to like see things like this coming. So if you guys like need any help, I'm willing to probably maybe I don't know. I definitely want to talk with you guys a little bit more, see how we can like maybe get more help from the community and like probably shine light on like some of these like things that you guys have to go through.
Yeah. Can reach out to Paul regarding that. I don't even understand or know how they got the call. I guess because it wasn't gated. But those sections will be cut off. So
Yeah.
there can be like smooth flow while people are going through the video.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
my suggestion is like you guys
Yeah.
should actually
Yeah,
let
exactly.
people know like that's exactly what was going on. Like I know if you cut it off, people may think like it was just like a smooth ride, but at least like maybe you guys should say something, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And we are really sorry, guy, for the inconvenience. We never experienced a bot attack before. So we promise the next class it would be more smoother, and also the next class would be next week, 24th April. Is it right, Paul?
Yeah.
Yes. So we are having our next class. This time it is going to be back to back every Monday for the next like almost 6 weeks. So
5 foot.
this is you're plugging into the Starknet ecosystem. So thank you so much for coming in. We're really sorry for the bot attack, and we will ensure that the next class is smoother. So next week, Monday, 24th, 8 p.m., you have a date with us, and then we'll see from there. Also, please try to learn as much as possible because we have a physical hackathon at the end of this